This episode is brought to you by The Guarantors. Chasing down residents who don't pay their rent is taxing enough. Did you know you could offset the risk of renter default? Meet The Guarantors. They'll requalify your applicants and insure their rent. If the resident doesn't pay, you still get paid. Visit theguarantors.com/multifamily today. Welcome to another episode of the Multifamily Collective. I wanted to talk about the future org chart in the property management space. It's an org chart that relates to any business that you might be governing on a go forward. And it is because of artificial intelligence that the traditional hierarchy will be a thing of the past very soon. So I think the way to frame this, or at least the way I frame this in my own head, is that today you have these very large learning models, or LLMs, that are out in the marketplace. And let's just say that's a giant database of information. And you have this, you have artificial intelligence set against that to create better processes and systems and disciplines and routines, and just sort of commingling information to try to gain insights so that you can make informed decisions on a go forward. So what's going to happen, at least I think, in organizations, is that you're going to have each one of the disciplines in a traditional hierarchy. Let's say it's human resources, marketing, operations, finance, business development. All of these independent silos gain data or collect data on a daily basis. Every single interaction is another piece of data that goes into the system, goes into the large language model. Now, those models, one might argue there's not enough information there to really create an effective machine, so to speak, to help you get better informed decisions. But I would argue in the future, in the right now, really, as data goes into data goes into a system, even if it's small, the ability to extrapolate in a small database, extrapolate from a small database, and create plausible scenarios is real. You can do that. So you don't have to have millions and zillions and zillions and zillions of pieces of data in order to have an effective system. So I think what's going to happen with org charts, traditional hierarchy systems of doing business, is you're going to have these LLMs within each one of your organizations. You're going to have 6 to 8 of them that are collecting information. By the way, you can commingle those with data sources outside of your property management company, no matter what it might be. Marketing might tap into other LLMs that are related to the marketing business outside of your company. And the commingling of that data will enhance its decision making, or it'll enhance its information so that you can make informed decisions based on that information. But what's going to happen also, running at the same time, sort of a concurrent, is you're going to have this cross-departmental sharing of information in the LLMs, and all of a sudden you will start to see these very rich ideas and theories and concepts, philosophies, sort of born out of all this data, sort of cross-pollinating in your organization, based on also not only the data internal, like we just said, but the data that is coming in from the outside sources that you've tapped into using APIs, right? You've tapped into all these databases all over the place, to the extent that they're even, public data or data you have to subscribe to. You're going to have access to big enough data sets that can make informed decisions. What's going to happen over time is your organization will become very flat in nature. There's something that's shared today in a meeting. I'm not going to remember it off the top of my head, but they had made a prediction that the first $1 million company would be created by 2026, just solely from an LLM, from a ChatGPT, from a chatbot, from LLMs coming together and creating something. Well, it's done. It's over. It's been done. 2024, it was created. And it's not just $1 million company. It's a multi-million dollar company. So long story short, hierarchy that you know today, CEO, CFO, COO, all your senior level directors, senior level vice presidents, all of that will be completely disrupted on a go forward. That to me, and I've said this before on this podcast a couple of years ago, the biggest disruption. I remember sitting with Patrick Antrim from Multifamily Innovation Council. I was on his podcast. He was interviewing me. And I made the assertion at that time that the biggest disruption that AI will have in the business world is the disruption of the traditional hierarchy. The traditional hierarchy is going to go away. The way that we govern business today is through a hierarchy is going to go away, or it's going to be completely disrupted and look very different 18 to 24 months from now. Think about that. You think about how you're going to put AI against your business today in terms of efficiencies and processes and systems and routines. It's not that. I mean, that stuff's good. It's important. But what's really happening, bigger picture, is that your hierarchy is going to be disrupted in a massively meaningful way. And that's what you should be thinking about. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.